Long process to identify burnt victims. Safety of students at school of utmost concern. Thanks for joining me on the evening edition of News on 2. The process to identify the remains of all 23 victims killed in the early dawn fire at a religious school, Pusat Tahfiz Darul Quran Ittifaqiyah in the nation's capital, will take a few days. Health Minister Datuk Seri Dr. S. Subramaniam said the ministry is in the midst of collecting DNA samples from the parents and next of kin of the victims. Datuk Seri Dr. Subramaniam said it will take time to ascertain the identities of the victims as all of them were badly charred.
Dan sampai sekarang 23 jenazah telah dibawa masuk kepada unit forensik di Hospital Kuala Lumpur dan bahagian forensik perubatan forensik telah menjalankan pemeriksaan jenazah terhadap mereka. Dan untuk mengenal pasti identiti mereka, ada keperluan untuk membuat pemeriksaan DNA kerana banyak daripada mangsa ini jenazah mereka telah kebakaran yang begitu teruk di mana susah untuk kita memastikan identiti mereka.
7 others who were injured, including 6 students and a resident who tried to help free the victims, are currently being treated at the Kuala Lumpur hospital. 4 of them are in critical conditions. Kuala Lumpur Police Chief Dato' Amar Singh Ishar Singh said the fire was believed to have started at the exit of the Tahfiz school and that the reason why most of the occupants were trapped and could not be saved was because the building only had one exit. He added that the windows also did not have safety features that allowed for use during emergency.
Pintu tak berkunci, pintu buka, akan tapi tingkap dia tak ada safety window dia yang ada.
Untuk berapa ramai yang berjaya panjat keluar ataupun yang selamat itu?
Saya rasa daripada anggaran 36 murid-murid yang ada, yang berjaya diselamatkan 14 berjaya diselamatkan.
Apakah mereka cedera?
Ada yang cedera, ada yang kritikal. 6 is warded in hospital.
Dato' Amar Singh, who was met by reporters at the scene of the incident, said the building was occupied by 36 students. On another note, Fire and Rescue Department Deputy Director General Dato' Soiman Jahid said the remains were found at several locations, all near windows at the 3rd floor of the Tahfiz school. He said firemen who had responded to the fire found students' charred remains piled on top of each other.
Dan berdasarkan pemerhatian saya baru naik tadi, kesemua mangsa ini telah meninggal dunia dalam keadaan yang rentung. Jadi punca utama kebakaran ini berlaku kemungkinan disebabkan perkara-perkara seperti ubat nyamuk ataupun litar pintas dan sebagainya. Jabatan bomba dalam dan tengah buat penyiasatan untuk mengenal pasti punca-punca kebakaran. Yang keduanya, kenapa mereka ini terperangkap di dalam bangunan ini? Bangunan ini dikelilingi dengan jeriji besi yang tak boleh dibuka daripada dalam. Pelajar-pelajar ini sebenarnya apabila menyedari adanya kebakaran, adanya asap tebal, mereka nak keluar melalui tingkap-tingkap. So kita dapat sebab itu pelajar-pelajar ini berada di tepi-tepi tingkap bangunan ini untuk cuba keluar. Tapi malangnya disebabkan grill, mereka tidak dapat keluar. Kecuali 5 pelajar tadi, dia berjaya keluar daripada pintu dan meminta tolong daripada jawatan bomba.
Datuk Soiman stressed that investigation is still ongoing and it is too early to determine the real cause of the incident. Meanwhile, when met at the scene of the incident, Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Seri Dr. Ahmad Zahid Hamidi said that the government will not compromise on the safety of students at religious schools, which are now not registered with the Education Ministry. He said the safety of the 50,000-odd students nationwide is of utmost importance and there is a need to ensure that these schools are registered with the ministry.
Kita tidak akan berkompromi dalam soal nyawa dan Di dalam mesyuarat koordinasi yang pernah saya lakukan sebelum ini dengan Yayasan Pintar dan dengan pengendali sekolah-sekolah tahfiz ini, kita mahu supaya sekolah kenaan bukan hanya didaftarkan, tetapi mesti mempunyai spesifikasi supaya sekolah itu boleh memenuhi ciri-ciri keselamatan.
In a related development, Dr. Ahmad Zahid said preliminary reports showed that the management of Pusat Tahfiz Darul Quran Ittifaqiyah did not register the school with the Education Ministry. He said checks are being done to determine if the school was registered with the Federal Territory Islamic Religious Council or any other foundation.
Sejak tahun 2011, 31 kejadian kebakarannya begini. Saya tidak fikir atas nama kuasa siapapun, maka kita harus khawatir untuk menyelaraskan dari segi keselamatan.
He said the government maintains the procedure of the state government handling issues related to religion, including religious schools, as stated in the administration of the state government, and recognized the Department of Islamic Development's role in providing assistance and financial aid. The Putrajaya Magistrate Court granted the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission's MACC application to remand 4 individuals, including Chief Executive of a corporation, to facilitate investigations into the misuse of government funds, totaling 40 million ringgit. The order was issued by the magistrate Nik Isfain Tasnim Wan Abdul Rahman to enable investigations to be carried out under Section 17, subsection A of the MACC Act 2009. Aside from the chief executive, 3 other suspects, including the corporation secretary, the assistant finance minister and the company director, the suspects earlier arrived at the magistrates court in Putrajaya wearing MACC lockup attire, accompanied by commission officers 10:30 a.m. All of them were detained in several locations in the nation's capital between 4:30 p.m. and 6 p.m. yesterday in a special operation. Initial investigations revealed that in 2016, one of the suspects was suspected of laundering 15 million ringgit, while another 25 million ringgit were laundered this year. It's revealed that the government has allocated 40 million ringgit for 2017 to the corporation to conduct training programs, and in 2016, a total of 35 million ringgit were allocated. The funds were to be used to conduct training programs for specialized skills for those who are unemployed. A female foreigner was sentenced to 4 years in prison by the Johor Bahru High Court for hiding migrants in a home in Johor Bahru last year. The accused is Ika, aged 21, pleaded guilty after the charges were read in front of Judge Colin Lawrence Sakura. The accused was charged with hiding or protecting 5 Indonesian citizens with the knowledge of having reasonable cause to believe that all 5 people were smuggled migrants. The offence was committed at a house in Jalan Abdul Samad 1, Johor Bahru, around 4 p.m. on September 22nd last year. The accused is charged under Section 26, subsection H of the Anti-Trafficking of Persons and Anti-Smuggling of Migrants Act 2007, read together with Section 34 of the Penal Code. Johor Immigration Department's Noridayu Mat Qasim handled the prosecution, while the accused was represented by lawyer Melissa Abdul Kadir. Judge Colin Lawrence ordered the sentence to run from the date of her arrest in September last year. The Pulau Pinang Immigration Department detained a total of 106 foreign construction workers without a valid permit. They were detained in a raid at about 10 a.m. today on a construction site near Bandar Tanjung Pinang, Georgetown. According to State Immigration Assistant Director Kawaja Banti Nafaz Muhammad Hanif, all the detainees included 95 males and 11 females, consisting of nationals from Bangladesh, Indonesia and Myanmar. Amongst the offences detected were overstaying and misuse of social visit pass, besides having no identification documents. All were aged between 20 to 50 and were sent to a juvenile detention centre for further action. The case is being investigated under Section 6, subsection 1 of the Immigration Act 1959-1963. coming up after the break. Investments in the US will benefit all, not just the Americans. Datuk Seri Najib Tun Razak has refuted allegations that Malaysia was trying to curry favour with US President Donald Trump with Malaysia Airlines' purchase of Boeing planes and EPF investing in the United States. The Prime Minister said he regretted the negative spinning of Malaysia's potential investment in the US. Hani Muhili reports from Washington.
At his meeting with the US President at the White House on Tuesday, Datuk Seri Najib announced Malaysia's intention to increase the number of Boeing planes to be purchased by Malaysia Airlines. Malaysia is committed to buying 25 737 MAX 10 aircraft plus 8 787 Dreamliners. The Premier had also indicated strong probability that Malaysia would add 25 more 737 MAX 10 in the near future.
Because I want to explain that ada juga orang spinning kata macam seolah kita pula nak contribute kepada Amerika. We're not getting anything in return. Tak betul. Sebab bila kita beli pesawat Boeing, kita jadikan MAS sebagai sebuah syarikat penerbangan yang semakin kompetitif. Kalau orang lain ada Dreamliner, kita pun mesti ada Dreamliner. So we are actually, this is a transformation of MAS, a rationalization of MAS, which is working, you see. Because now MAS is in a position to buy planes, modern planes. It's good for us, kan? Kedua, bila kita invest di America, like EPF invest, EPF will get returns, and the returns will flow back as dividends to our employees in Malaysia. So it's not one-way street. They are spinning it.
The Prime Minister's three-day visit to the US was upon the invitation of President Trump, which served as a testimony of Malaysia's standing as a strategic partner. But despite the significance of the visit, there were negative remarks and reports linking Datuk Seri Najib with the 1MDB investigations carried out by the US Department of Justice.
I was very happy to be received by the President of the United States in that manner, and also he went out of his way, and he received me not only as Prime Minister but as a friend as well.
Meanwhile, the Prime Minister said Malaysia's views on the Rohingya crisis had also drawn the immediate concern of Trump once the issue and its implications were briefed. As a result, the US and Malaysia issued a joint statement to condemn the violence against the Rohingya in Myanmar and urged such atrocity to be stopped immediately. So now that the much talked about White House meeting between the leaders had taken place, the question is, what's next for the US-Malaysia relations? The two leaders have said that they looked forward to strengthen further the comprehensive partnership in a way that promotes peace, stability, prosperity and international consensus in the Asia-Pacific region and around the world. Both leaders are also now calling for an end to the violence targeting civilian populations and discussed the need for a strong international community response for the hundreds of thousands who have been victimized and displaced by violence. Hani Muhili, Washington.
It is the question on everyone's mind, but Prime Minister Datuk Seri Najib Tun Razak is not ready to discuss it further. A jovial Datuk Seri Najib, who ended his three-day visit to the United States on a high note, remained calm when asked by Malaysian reporters in Washington the right time for him to announce the 14th general election.
Oh, you want me to announce something in Washington, D.C.? You gotta be kidding, come on. 1 year is a long time. They say 2 weeks is a long time in politics. I might get a brainwave, inshallah. Doa dulu lah.
For the record, the elections must be called by August next year. To the ruling BN's coalition credit, Malaysia has chalked up continued economic expansion in spite of a slew of external factors that have shaken economies globally over the past few years. The Agriculture and Agro-Based Industry Ministry has launched a new scheme for smallholders of the MD2 species of pineapple to ensure they obtain a minimum income of at least 5,000 ringgit a month. The ministry has allocated some 5 million ringgit for the scheme under the Small-Scale Development Project. Its Minister Datuk Sri Ahmad Shabri Cheek said to qualify for the scheme, smallholders must show proof that they possess a minimum land area of 1.2 hectares and a maximum of 4 hectares, which must be registered with the Malaysian Pineapple Industry Board (LPNM). Upon arrival, each smallholders will receive aid of between 30,000 to 60,000 ringgit to plant the MD2 species of pineapple. The MD2 pineapple has been a hit, not just in Malaysia, but there are also demands for it from China, Singapore, Japan, Korea and countries from West Asia.
Kita akan tingkatkan lagi dengan terbukanya pasaran China ini. Saya akan bincang supaya nilainya akan tinggi lagi daripada sasaran asal 320 juta sasaran ekspor kita. Tetapi ia mengambil masa untuk membuka tanah, menghasilkan benih dan seluruh keperluan dalam rantaian nilai.
Last May, Malaysia signed the protocol on phytosanitary requirement for the export of pineapples from Malaysia to China to export 12,000 tons of pineapples worth 40 million ringgit within a year to China to be sourced from 2 plantations that has been approved under the protocol. Malaysia has gained attention in its global competitiveness in the biotechnology sector, particularly in the Asia-Pacific. Malaysian Bioeconomy Development Corporation Sudan Berhad, or Bioeconomy Corporation's Chief Executive Officer, Dr. Muhammad Shuhaizam Muhammad Zain, said the agency seeks to get as many companies to venture internationally by forging synergistic business-to-business partnerships. He said Malaysia's biotechnological initiatives are attaining global competitiveness through such initiatives like the Bio-Malaysia and Asia-Pacific Bioeconomy Bio-Malaysia series that seeks to boost strategic collaboration with local players.
People that are coming in and really interested in basically the business of bio. A few good companies have actually gone abroad, but we come to technology and agriculture, right? We're not there yet to actually export, so-called, our technology outside, but in terms of end product that we're actually using it. It's all interrelated. We have manufacturing side, and we also have the agro-based or bio-based, in a sense, product that have been exported out for the past 2 years already.
Speaking at the end of the recently concluded Bio-Malaysia 2017, he also said 3 collaborations were concluded at the event involving 6 companies and organizations, which had the potential to boost the bioeconomy sector. The event, which ended yesterday, saw the participation of 67 companies involving 120 exhibition booths. And that concludes this evening's news on 2. In our top story, long process to identify burnt school victims using DNA identification. Join us again at 12:30 tomorrow afternoon. I'm RENEE FOONG. Have a pleasant evening.